Three, two, and one. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Red Thoughts with Perry Picasso. I am your host, Perry Picasso, and today I am joined by two lovely and amazing guests.
Right. I'm Icon.
Divina is here, bitch.
No, that's right. Infinity Girl.
We got the Infinity Girls. Period. Welcome to the podcast. We are still down to one mic. So don't clock that. I just want to put that out there before we get any further. So we're gonna just be passing this along. So yeah, thank y'all so much for coming out here. I have been wanting to interview y'all for a while. I think you both are just like so iconic and so cunty, and it just I don't know, it just like warms my heart to like see y'all out and about and be just like so openly, visibly queer here in the IE. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us here. First of all, like your studio is beautiful as fuck.
Oh,
Just
thank
like the
you.
artists,
Right.
talented and beautiful. And we're just happy to be here. We just love building community and just connecting with other queer artists. So thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for that. I just want to echo that and just say how red is truly your color, and
Come on
I'm
now.
excited to dive into the depth of red and to bask in it with all of you. So thank you for this
Period.
moment.
Ate that, ate that.
Period. Thank you. Okay, so with that, let's get this started. How I guess I like been starting off by asking folks like how they like to identify in a creative sense. Like if you were like a dancer, a singer, a poet, painter, like how would y'all describe your artistry and sort of what it is that you have been working towards? And perhaps I know that you mentioned to me off camera about transitioning period. Like maybe you're transitioning from one artist to another. Like where are y'all on your journeys? And then from there I want to dive into like once you tell me what it is that you would like to identify, like start from the beginning.
Hmm. Okay. I guess for me, I would label myself as like a multidisciplinary artist. I feel like even as a kid, it's always been hard for me to like attach myself to one thing and be labeled as that one thing. And I feel like that was already the start of like the queerness there. Like that closet was made of glass for real, because I could never just choose one thing. um, but yeah, I would say I'm like more of a multidisciplinary artist. I love to dance. I love to draw. I love fashion creation. I love music and production. I love
Mm-hmm.
acting, theater. Like I mean, like anything that is involved in arts, I'm probably going to be like involved in, just because like I find art so important and beautiful for like my own personal experiences and a way to like I guess conceptualize my experience as a queer black person. So guess I would label myself as that.
You said you love all these things, and I want to say they love you too, right?
Period.
Because
Right.
everything you do, you're just iconic in that. And so I just wanted to name that, and also acknowledge this beautiful doll that we're holding as part of the mic.
Come
Come
on.
on, how
It's a
it doesn't get
cutting.
cuntier than this. Hi everyone, my name is Divina, or Sami. I would consider myself kind of similar way, like a multi-hyphenate artist.
Right.
But I really just love performance. I love performing, so all the elements that go into performing. I'm currently getting my master's in experimental
Come on
choreography.
now. That degree is almost here.
I feel
Come
it. She's teasing me. I'm like, okay, when?
on.
So it isn't based in choreography and dance movement. So I'm always like critically analyzing the space, how to move through it. Um, Themes of like migration, identity, queerness, transness, being a person of color, especially in this fear state that we're currently experiencing. It's
Mhm.
getting more and more scary out here.
Bitch, it is.
Um,
It's giving saw. It's giving saw.
so really, like how we move through space is like really important to me, and it reflects how we feel about ourselves. And so showing up authentically has been like a really big practice for me in my
Mhm.
art endeavors, whether that is fashion. Also, I really like music, making my own music, especially with
Period.
Icon. We've been really getting into that practice and just building choreography that speaks to ourselves, our identities, our
Mhm.
communities, and is it creating conversations for more connection to be able to happen. Hmm.
Sure. Come on now.
Period.
Thank you for
Amazing.
that.
I'm like, I love the girlies who just do it all. Like, why stick with one? But I'm like aware that everybody goes in like different routes. So that's why I'm always like
Mhm.
very curious, like which are the specific routes that you like to
Mhm.
go down. And would you say that this has been since like childhood? Like, were you always like the creative kids? Like, how was it like when you were like 7? What did you want to be when you grew up?
That is like a crazy ass question because low key, I feel like I've gone through so many like I guess like different ideas about where my career would be at as I became an adult.
Mm.
Like when I was like in 6th grade, the first job I really wanted to have was to be a zoologist. I was like obsessed with animals. And so I learned that zoology was a lot different than what I was expecting. And I was like, well, that's not for me. And then I like almost went into law and I was like, oh, I hate like I was like, I could not be a lawyer. I was like, I like the tea, but bitch, this is too much tea. I was like, y'all are doing too much for me. But then I feel like even as a kid, like I was obsessed with like musicians and artists, especially like divas in general, like women who were in music. That was just something that I was so obsessed with because I'm like, oh, there's something so powerful about being like you authentically, like whether that is sensually, sexually, emotional, mental, like just seeing like these women be like all of it. They're everything. Like they're a mom behind the scenes. They're this like iconography of like power and strength and resilience. And I was like, oh, like low key, I like as I gotten older and as I met Diva, that was like something I set into more like, oh, I just want to be an iconography of what it means to like truly like love yourself. And that's kind of like where my art kind of started to go towards. And I feel like those little moments popped up even as a kid. Like it was always been there of like icon is always gonna shine. And I was just meant for arts. Like arts kind of found me and now has led me have some more guidance on this path, truthfully.
And the arts are thankful for your presence. They want to feel your essence every time you share your art. And that's kind of like where I would answer that question from is too, is since a little kid, I remember one of my first things that I wanted to be was actually a pop star. So I was actually like,
Montana?
Come
you
on.
get the best. Hey,
Have both
world's
worlds. Come
right.
on.
Come on, you get the best of everything with me though.
Facts.
So you get to. I was like writing down lyrics with like my cousins, pretending we were in like a band. I thought that was really exciting. And then I always had like a love for rap and hip hop growing up, and so that was also really fun to kind of rap with my brother or my cousins. Me and my brother would have like rap battles with each other. That was always really fun. And as I got into like high school and college, I realized like I really had like a talent for writing or just like writing poetically, rhythmically. And so that was kind of like always on my mind, but I had other interests. I always liked dancing since I was a little kid. But growing up the way I did, that wasn't always celebrated. I grew to celebrate myself, especially when I got to college. So don't worry, even if you're on your own journey, on your own timeline, things will line up when you're ready, or maybe they'll make you ready.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, definitely in high school, end of high school, college is when really started to dive more into dancing, choreography, and that's when I started to then mix them with Icon more, who I think you also expressed that since a young kid you wanted to be like a pop star.
For sure.
So once we started to kind of share that dream, it's been like a little bit more in that journey that we've grown both our dancing, performing, singing, rapping, writing skills, all of that together. So it's been cool to follow that trajectory since like a little childhood dream.
For sure.
Hey.
And Miss Diva dances. She dances down. Like I was dancing before I met Diva, but let me just say, like, if you want to learn a style and like not just a style, but like learn the resilience, the strength, the technique, the drive. Like to meet a person who has like such a passion for something that they do, like Diva really is that person. Like I feel like I've grown to respect dance and dancers and choreography and performing at such a deeper level since meeting them. And I feel like that's something so special. Like not only to like do art, but to embrace it and really have a passion and love for it is such a deep thing. And I hope that people who explore arts or are thinking of exploring that like really go in and try to find that for themselves for sure.
And I've never met anyone as deep as Icon in all senses.
That's crazy.
I was about to say, y'all are gonna make me cry, and now we got this. Y'all are gonna make me homophobic. Ah! That was actually beautiful. We're only like what 10 minutes in, and you're already gonna make me want to cry. God.
No, I'm feeling the energy. Yes, feeling the energy in here.
It's
I'm
nice.
like, let me take this off.
Right. Take it off. Take it off.
Woo! 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 I was gonna ask y'all two questions. One for zoology, what was an animal you were really interested in? And for Diva, what was did you have a pop star name?
Damn. Okay. So zoology. It's very like interesting, but for some reason I was very obsessed with koalas and penguins at a very young
Ooh.
age. Like I went to Build a Bear, made a koala and
Ooh,
everything.
love
And
Build-A-Bear.
I thought koalas were so cute until I learned that they're actually kind of really fucking mean. Like they are kind of like mean animals, high key. Um
Yeah. Just
girl
the
down. I
puppy
was like,
ass
girl,
crazy.
and I'm like, you got like y'all are just mean to everybody because y'all out here doing your own things and I was like, y'all
This
is
is also a reminder to go get tested.
name not like get tested, know
Even if you think you don't got it, trust me, go get
Yes.
tested.
you will feel so much better once you
Yes.
know, once you can be sure in yourself. And low key, I'm gonna say that to the koalas too, girls. Get yourself to the clinic. What are you
Take that
doing? Take that
antibiotic.
antibiotic, honey. Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um, I'm like prep for koalas 2026. Let's get it done. Um, but yeah, I was like obsessed with koalas, and then I was obsessed with penguins. And the reason why I became obsessed with penguins is because like everyone was so homophobic growing up, and I got obsessed with like this penguin story that someone did about
Mhm.
two male penguins, and that they were taking care of like these eggs together. And I was like, oh my god, gay rights down. Like I was an activist from such a young age. Like I was writing for the gays even in other species. So yes. And I hope that as we become bigger in our pop star era, I will make sure prep is given to all animals because we're going to treat them all equally, especially the koalas.
Mm.
But I'm now curious about what your pop star name is, Diva.
Okay, I'm gonna try to follow that up. That was so funny. Thank you for
That
that.
was funny.
Let's see. An animal. I actually want to answer the animal question too because an animal I identified with to this day is actually like a black panther.
Oh
I
no.
really like
Mm.
just always appreciated the like sleekness, the like what is the word?
Like
Like
ferociousness.
ferociousness. Yes,
Mhm.
that's the word. Like they just have like such like a cuntiness. Like
Mhm.
they even sometimes have spots if you look like really closely. So, and their agility, their movement through the jungle. I always like
Mhm.
pretended like I was a cat, and so that's actually where my first name came from. In when I rejoined ballroom here in the IE, I named myself Pussy because I wanted to be like just like this oozing of femininity and fun and sensuality, but also of a kitty cat.
Period.
Bring that feminine cat energy. But as a kid, did I have a pop star name? This is something that actually became like a topic for me and Icon when we were talking about like presenting ourselves as infinity. And
Mhm.
I had the name Pissy, but I felt like that was like my ballroom persona. I needed something that like kept going outside of ballroom too. And so I thought I was inspired also by Icon naming themselves Icon and like becoming an iconography of something. And I was like, well, what's something I really want to embody and represent? And so that's where the name Davina came from. And I wanted to really step into that puss, step into that cunt, and step into that fierceness. Because I'm in this practice of being fierce over fear, and especially with the growing fear state. And that name really has forced me to step into that and like own that name. Because you can't just give yourself a name like Divina and then be like shy and modest, right? You got to like
Mhm.
really step into that. So I feel like I've gone through so many names. I still have so many names. And like I really love my name Sammy too. It's not like a stepping away or moving away from, but it's like adding on to my identity constantly. The multiplicity of selves. Come on.
Right. That part. And let's just say, like, this is a diva. This is the most divine person I know. Like, they're always shining. They're always going to step out. And, like, no matter what, like, I feel like the light and the wind always find you. Like, especially even, like, in
You're right. The
ballroom.
light. Yeah,
The
she did find me.
name that, though. Name that. Yes. Like, Miss Divina is just, like, such a perfect name for you. And I felt like when we were talking about picking names, and then you said Divina, and I was like, oh, like, well, Diva for short, like I was like, there's nothing more fitting than that. Like I felt like, getting to explore like pop music together, especially and us looking at all these like divas. And like every time I'd watch one of these artists, we would like be talking in the living room and be like, oh, well, you kind of remind me of her. Like we're watching Beyonce, I'm like, oh, I see her resilience. Or watching Lady Gaga, I'm like, oh, I see your like, the theatrics and the characters that are put in. And I'm like, oh, like diva fits for you so well because like I feel like a diva above all is really gonna embody what it means to be like this feminine energy, this like, and not just a feminine energy of like a selfish way, but a feminine energy that's giving back into the community, that's giving back to their people, giving back to uplifting people. And that's just kind of like what Diva gives all the time.
Y'all are so cute. I can't. That's very, very sweet. I am curious about the sort of the naming of these things because you were saying that when you weren't stepping away from the name, but sort of you're adding to it, and sort of like because I feel like as queer folks, it is very common to give yourself names
Right.
and rename yourself over and over again. And I think that yeah, ever since I was a kid, like I've always had different names that I would go by. And like in chat rooms, and like you would go on different things and like make up different names, different identities, you know? And so I don't know. I'm curious, sort of like your thoughts on what is the relation to queerness and that, and also like your own, I guess, your own relation to names. You feel comfortable with talking about given names and chosen names, but just sort of I guess like yeah, names in general.
Mhm. I guess I'll go first. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess for me, this is actually something that I was studying this year, and I've been really trying to invest in my art. Because as becoming more of a dancer, more full time, I've been loving to explore the ideas of how Black aesthetics and Black culture pop up within pop culture and like pop music and all those type of things, and not necessarily like about how those things happen, because I'm like, I feel like we've all heard about how gentrification, cultural appropriation, all these things happen. We're very like aware of it. Like we're in 2025. It's not like a new concept. But more about how do we as like people of color move past cultural appropriation and still like like create like this this new world for ourselves in a way where we're not just like tied to those things too. And like I guess like naming for myself is really connected to like the idea of Afrofuturism and this idea of building a reality that moves past these things, in which like I can see myself as anything I want to be because I'm not tied to like these binaries and stereotypes and things that are already set here telling me who I am. And I would say like I guess when I was younger, choosing names for me were always something like random as hell. Like I would use like a random color or like whatever I was obsessed with. Like I was obsessed with like Bratz dolls a lot. So like I would constantly be naming myself after like a Bratz doll or something. I'm like, yeah, bitch, today I'm Sasha and this today I'm Chloe. I don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, I'd be on Club Penguin running amok too. Like I might have a bunch of different names. Like it was crazy. Yeah, like I think like the idea like for queer people naming themselves is because like it allows you to build a reality in which like you're not tied to these things that you grow up with people telling you that you have to be. Like even like the concept of like being a man, that was like not something I ever really saw myself with, because I was like, well bitch, I can wear a high heel just as good as her, what do you mean, type of energy, and I got more in the way of like, oh well, like choosing icon for me, even icon in itself is so like gender neutral, unisex. Like there's no gender or any binary stuck to being an icon. The main thing is about loving yourself, about accepting yourself and accepting other people and uplifting. And yeah, I feel like for me, that's choosing my own name is like allowing me to build my own reality.
Yeah, couldn't have said that better. Name allowing you to build your own reality, and queerness by definition, it means to exist in this unidentifiable category. So if I'm not easily identifiable, then that means my identity can change,
Right.
morph, grow, adapt,
Mhm.
transform. And so that's really where I feel like the basis of the multiplicity of names comes from for me, is like also practicing being in queerness and knowing that, oh, even if this person knows me as this person knows me as this person knows me as this. I'm like still a collection of all these things, and then also not. I'm
Right.
also whatever I choose to be in that moment. And so I think it's like leaning into that opacity and knowing when to, especially as a queer trans person, you have to learn how to like be opaque to protect yourself, when to reveal your identities, when to reveal yourselves, and when you can really be transparent with your community, when so that you can grow and really be authentic and show up authentically. So
Mhm.
I think for me, like naming is such a like personal thing in that way. And also I'm thinking now too, kind of nostalgic too, right? Since birth we're given a name in our families and our communities. We're given names, we're given
Mhm.
nicknames, and I was given a lot of nicknames growing up. Some of them were mean, but I kind of also appreciated that. I also kind of appreciated that like somebody said it con cariño, or like with kindness or with sweetness attached to it, and I kind of miss that too, and so I'm like, oh, I can still give myself that feeling by giving myself a name that I feel like I really speak to or really resonate with, and I think calling myself Divina was like such a sweet gesture towards myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I love that. I think that's also very sweet that, like, yeah, sometimes people can give nicknames that might not be the kindest in a literal sense, and yeah, in a metaphorical or sort of, I guess, more, I don't know. And it comes from love
Right.
as much as
Somewhat.
they're willing to, yeah.
Yeah. It's like almost like that like tough love spot as well. I feel like I've had like a lot of nicknames, but they're out of a way of like still trying to connect with me. But I felt like because like even at a young age I'm already queer,
Mm-hmm.
there's already me breaking out of these like boxes that are so like generationally
Mm-hmm.
kept and structured that like, oh, I would realize, oh well, some of these names is just like your way of trying to connect with me. Especially as I gotten older, I was like, oh, maybe they weren't trying to be mean, but like they don't know how not to be straight. So I'm very much like, okay, well, I kind of have to accept that. But yeah, for sure. I think like I definitely agree with like the nostalgia of it all. Like I think getting to name yourself and then like even that naming goes more into like your fashion, into
Mm-hmm.
the people that you also like attract and have in your circle. Like you start to realize like, oh, I can literally give myself a name. I can create worlds that I want to see. And we literally get to do that through art, through music, through like
Choreography.
literally through movement. I think it's
Yes,
yeah.
I wanted to add to something, but now it's like fleeting my mind, so I'm gonna hand the mic back.
Oh. She's saying.
You said such like a brilliant point that like I can't remember now because you just gagged me so hard, I think. But I think it had to do with naming, queerness, multiplicity of self. Maybe it's gonna come back, but
Mhm.
maybe
For sure,
not.
for sure.
It's a sentiment, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in there somewhere.
I'm curious, are you both from the IE? Were you born and raised here, or sort of like how has that journey been for y'all?
That that is such a good question.
No. We're not from the IE. We've definitely made a presence here in the IE.
For sure.
I feel that. You can tell definitely just like us walking down the street, we have like so many eyes on us. We learned how to like also transmute that energy though, and really be the visible queer people that, we would
Mhm.
want to see and embrace that. And so I say that because folks here in the IE remind us that we're not from the IE,
For sure.
through their gaze, through their othering of us.
Mhm.
And so I also feel like that has been really made apparent. And so, I understand we're coming into a new city. We have to know how it moves, how the people in the city move. And so I feel like as I returned to get my master's at UCR, I also did my undergrad here in UCR. So it's really fascinating to me to also witness my own growth from like
Mhm.
undergrad to grad, and also how parts of the city have stayed the same, parts have evolved, and but I'm originally from Mexicali, Calexico. I grew up in
Mhm.
the Twin Border cities, crossing frequently. And then once I moved like back and forth. That's why I have like this work called Eterna Migración, because I
Mhm.
have been chasing, maybe.
Right.
Why did that word come up? I really have been exploring
Write it
yes.
down.
I'm like, let me grab my notebook. I really have been exploring my like endless migration through space and like how to make a space my home. Especially as queer trans people, I feel like we constantly have to seek, or I'll speak for myself, like seeking community and seeking like a space to like call like my hometown, or place of residence, especially when, even if this place is my hometown, how do I feel that warmth if I haven't lived there or connected with the people there?
Mhm.
So I really have been in that practice of anywhere I go, making that space feel like my home, my community, and standing really firmly in that space.
Mhm. For sure, for sure. I think that's really beautiful. And I think there's something so beautiful about like archiving your own migration and really trying to like get involved in your community because like I feel like we as humans work so hard and like grind so hard and are always on the move that it's so easy to just like go somewhere, not really experience it and then leave. And then you realize that's like something we were literally reflecting on. I feel like on the way here of like talking about like, oh, it's so nice because we threw like a party yesterday and it just had some like queer people over and we were all just like vibing and making vision boards, doing artsy shit together. And I like thought about like, oh, it's so beautiful like to create these memories with people because even if I like move from here next month or a month later or whatever, I like know that I took time to really get to know people here and really like set roots. So that way, like if I ever do come back here or ever think about this space, I know that like there's community that I have there, and that's like a totally different feeling than just like being somewhere.
Yes.
Um, you can't just like settle somewhere. You have to also live there. You have to like grow there as well. And I think that's like a very important thing to remember. Um, yeah, but I'm not from the IE either. I actually grew up in San Diego, but I would come to LA a lot when I was a kid and always pass Riverside. And there's no shade to Riverside, but every time we would pass Riverside, my mom would never want to stop there. She would never go to Riverside or anything. She'd be like, there ain't nothing out there to go and see. And for my own surprise, I feel like Riverside is very like vast, especially within the arts and things like that. And I'm like, damn, I'm surprised that I never came out here and like met people or witnessed anything, because I'm like, there's so many like talented artists that exist here that are literally bringing so much beautiful like queerness and joy and thriving and like just like thoughtfulness to the community. So y'all should check out Perry. Make sure you go follow them. Follow that motherfucking Instagram. Follow that motherfucking Instagram. Follow them. Yes. But yeah, I think not growing up in the IE or anything like that. This is completely new to me. I moved here last year with Sammy, and I'm getting my bachelor's as well. But for me, it's been such an interesting path because, I felt like for myself for a long time, I didn't really have a home. I was very like living on a couch or living at my grandmother's, living somewhere, growing up poor and things like that. So I was very like, even having a place to live, I didn't feel like I had a home. I felt still homeless, like this isn't for me. And moving here with Sammy, we really got to, sorry, with Diva, excuse me, we got to really like set roots and grow together and build like the type of home in like such a nostalgic and youthful way that like literally living in a home that like I imagined as a kid, like stuff like just maximalist to the core and just like still very well organized, very like spiritual. And yeah, like I feel like being here in the IE has like really taught me what it means to have like a home and a community. So it's something that I feel very, very grateful for.
I'm so happy to hear that. I mean, like when I asked the question, I genuinely did because I thought you guys like I thought y'all were from here because like there's is like some. I think it's because of how well you've integrated into the community that like I just sort of assumed that you were, and I say that because I remember the first time, at least one of the first times I remember seeing I was at like Back to the Grind or something, and then one of y'all said hi, and I was like, oh my god, hi, and then I just remember thinking, first of all, I thought y'all were in like 18, 19, like freshly out of high school, or like maybe like like second year in like bachelor. Like I thought you guys were like babies. And then I remember I was with my friends, and I was like, it makes me so happy to see like such visibly like queer kids, because I was like, I growing up here just did not really get to see that very often, and so I think I just got very excited because I was like, oh my god, there's like other folks here who are very visibly queer, and so that's why I was like wondering like, oh, like how has it been? So like, okay, it's clicking. I'm like, so I'm like also like if you like, get any of those stares at people like that, also just know that it's probably just straight up just like homophobia, transphobia, because I get stared like that my whole life and out here, and I don't know, I just kind of learned to just like when I walk, I literally just have like horse blinders on and just keep walking. But I do think though that it was a very good point though that you were making, Icon, of trying really hard to like really integrate yourself into the community, because that's something that I have also been like a strong advocate for when people move, because I think that migration and people moving to new spaces, like that's kind of just a part of life and that's part of the human experience, like to keep moving, especially for like a better life, better opportunity, or like for work or for like love or whatever it is that you're moving for. I think that people sometimes, I think, forget that when you move into an area, it's not just a place, like it's a community that you're going into, and it's important to integrate yourself to it, and I think like contribute back to the culture. I think it's like a huge part of me, and so that's been my thing. When I moved back to Riverside, I was like, I felt like such an outsider because I lived in LA, and I was like, I want to come back and contribute to the culture that grew up and raised me. And like now, every time I go anywhere, like that's been always like my goal is to like try and contribute back to the culture, because otherwise, then that's when you start getting people who just gentrify because all you're doing is going into an area and you're taking and taking and taking, but you're never giving anything back.
Name that.
Let me speak to this too, because yes, we saw you at Back to the Grind, but sometimes the connection takes multiple interactions to actually happen, right? So I remember actually one of the first times we saw or met Perry was at White Park. They had this beautiful photo installation.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember us, but me and Icon actually took some photos there, and I can see them right here. Me and Icon took some photos there, and they're still hanging on our fridge, you know? And so that was kind of like my introduction to Perry. I was like, wow, this beautiful, like red presence in the park. Like, I love that. The second time we got to see you was at this dress reveal at True Evolution. And that was another moment where we like got to connect more and really interact, and we also saw you Back to the Grind. I'm just wanting to speak to like all the different like moments where we like saw you, and we
Mhm.
also saw you at the Cheech with
Oh
your
yeah.
like art, different art pieces in there. So it's really cool to see like how you have come back and like have really implemented your presence and given back to the community in this way. And I wanted to just name and give you your flowers in that too. And how sometimes a connection may take like multiple different avenues, and so you really need to like be part of the community and integrate yourself so that you can really connect with people, because like we're all just like trying to be artists and making it out here is really vulnerable. So we also like, we're really, like I said earlier, practicing being opaque and transparent, like when to do that. And so the more that you show up, the more that the community like can feel that warmth and presence and like let you into. That's how I feel like we've been able to integrate.
For sure. And let me just say, like, you have changed the perception of the color red for me so hard here. Like, anytime I see red anywhere in Riverside, like, we went into a store that's over here in downtown, where they had your art up on the wall. And the moment that we saw the red art, we're like, oh, that's Perry. We like, that's Perry. And we, like, knew it was you, like, right away. And I was just like, oh, damn, like, that's how I know, like what you're naming to bounce off what Diva's saying is, like, you've integrated yourself and given back so much to the community that, like, I can even recognize when I see something that's by you or even related to you, that it's like, oh, like I know this person, and that's such a cool thing to see as well and feel, because I'm like, oh, that also lets me know like I'm doing my part of trying to be integrated in the community, to know these local artists here and to really understand like what contributions they're giving to like the community in general. So thank you for your contributions. Yeah.
Thank you. That's so sweet. I mean, I for me, it really is just ultimately at the end of the day, just for like for folks, for every like people who, especially people who don't go to museums, who don't go to do these things, to be able to have access to these things. So it's so sweet that you remembered that one at the park, because like that day, I remember also being so stressed out because like something was not working that day. But yeah, I remember when I got asked to do that, I was like, I want to do like a large installation, a big red box to make it look like like a large sculpture, but like have it be where people can go in and experience it and have this sort of like what is it like to be in a red room, and then to walk out with you in the artwork. And so it's been, yeah, one of my things that I love doing. So I'm happy that that like is still on your fridge.
Period.
It's so sweet. How have what other sort of ways have you been integrating yourself sort of more within the queer community, and like what would you say to folks who perhaps might be afraid to join because you were saying that it is a very vulnerable act to be doing all of this, like it's it can be a little daunting, like somebody who maybe like they've never been to a ballroom, maybe they've have never been to a drag show or done any of these things because they've just heard all these horrible things from everybody else, and they might be a little scared or don't know how to get there or don't even know anybody, like like how what do you what do you got to say?
I mean, I guess like one of the things that we've been doing to really integrate ourselves into the community is like working with True Evolution,
Mhm.
and specifically with Toy. They are such a beautiful soul and such just such sweet person, and someone that like I feel like it's just someone that you should know, someone that you should want to get to know too, because it's so important to have these connections with a person where people are not only like nice, but also like you can genuinely see their intentions are to be here for the community and really show up for people. And I feel like that's one way that like we've been integrating ourselves. Like we're a part of the Kiki House of Peaches, and we've been doing a lot of like different workshops and things like that. Diva literally taught like a voguing workshop of telling people how to storytell and like literally giving people a chance to practice confidence and how to walk in through a space. And I feel like that would be like the one thing I would tell people, like you should go out to these spaces and like spaces that are queer, because these are people who are have been pushed to the side by society or being told that they're not, worth anything here in society. And guess what, bitch? We still walk out cunt. We still walk out dazzling. And I was like, if you want to learn confidence, learn it from the bitch that's getting pushed down by everybody. Because I'm telling you, that bitch that you think isn't like seeing anyone be negative. Like, girl, we have our horse blinders on because we've already witnessed it. We've already felt it. I've already seen it. Anything you say is never gonna put me down. So like, if you want to learn some confidence, you should be showing up to these events and talking with these people, because at the end of the day, their experiences and their voices and their stories are so important to the larger part of what it is to be a human in its experience. And I feel like that's one way I've been integrating myself, is like even at these events, talking with different people, learning where they're coming from. Like, why are you showing up here? What makes you so curious about ballroom and Vogue? What makes you curious about like queerness and community in general? And like learning, there are people telling me like, oh, like, just me following you or me being here at this event with you, like you give me so much confidence, and I can feel like I can wear this now, and I'm doing this thing, I'm involved in this now. And I'm like, oh, like I didn't realize like you meeting me one time and having one interaction had such an impact on you. And that made me realize like, oh, damn, I'm really like, this is such a cool way of integrating myself into community, of really going to these community workshops and events, because at the end of the day, like you just smiling or just talking to one person can like really, really like fully change their entire outlook of how they're feeling about themselves or society in general. So yeah.
That's why you called icon.
Right.
Icon, icon.
Right. Yes. Thank you for that. Community building is really important to me, and it's something that has been really central to me as an artist since I knew that I wanted to start doing art. And when I was in San Diego after doing my undergrad and UCR, I went back to San Diego, and I really started to integrate myself into the dance community more and more. Whether that was like pursuing dance classes, I started to kiki with the ballroom girlies in San Diego, walking balls as a 007, and just like
Period.
really trying to like learn and grow as myself in San Diego. I started to get along with the community there. So really just showing up is like a way to like folks in the community that are already practicing what you want to be a part of. Let them see you. Let them see you. Let introduce yourself to them. Um, thank them for like the service that they're offering. Like maybe if you're going to a workshop, go and thank the instructor. You never know like what that one interaction might lead to. And so I would say like you have some choices, and I'm going to give you some dance terms.
Come
So
on
for those
now.
of you who don't know where to start, you can always so first start by making a choice and realize that that choice you can pivot all the time, and pivot just means turning to go another way, right? So even if we feel like a choice is so detrimental that like life or death, you can still pivot and find a redirection anywhere you go. And I'm also teaching you the power of the reframe, right? So if something happens, maybe it's unfortunate, we don't like it, maybe we read this interaction in a negative or weird way, I can also reframe it. Oh, maybe this person is experiencing something outside of us and it has nothing to do with me. And I know I came at this person with positive intent and energy, so I'm going to keep moving through my day, how I want to. Settling into who you are is and moving through space, knowing who you are and what you represent, I think is like a brilliant and beautiful way to show up authentically. And y'all know that when you go to a space like and you see somebody doing the most and like trying to get all this attention, or like kind of like not really standing firmly in their ideas or who they are, that's not the energy that like I'm going to be attracted to. I'm going to be attracted to the person who is like sure of themselves, not putting anybody down, not being quick to exclude, but more so to include and to build community. That's kind of the more so learning to differentiate, I think, those kind of groups that you want to be a part of and what kind of person you are trying to be, what kind of community that you're trying to be or part of. We have been working with the Kiki House of Peaches, throwing some like iconic names, some events here with True Evolution, who's been generous enough to host space. I've also been able to host ballroom practice at UCR that we've been able to grow and expand that community. Um, and just like overall walking balls in San Diego, LA, trying to make more of a ballroom presence as well, while also negotiating our own capacity, right? Recognizing that we're full time artists first. We have our own needs and desires that, although we love and appreciate and respect ballroom, and that'll always be a practice we return to, that's not our whole soul identity, right? We're out here trying to make music. We're trying to make it big as pop stars too, and so we're always like trying to work on our art, and so that's already its own community of folks that we're trying to grow as well. And then we're also dancers choreographers, creative directors, and consultants. So there's so many different avenues in which like there's so many different avenues to build community off of, and I just find that really exciting all the time that through these different interactions we've been able to connect, right? So and through that one of these connections, right, we were getting able to get closer to Perry too. So recently Icon and I danced in a work that we co-created for my 4QS at school, called Transportal. And Perry was really helpful in sourcing materials and helping me dream up these like portals of that I wanted to choreograph like an experience through the audience. So that was a really beautiful way to kind of bridge the art installation and choreography. So just know that also your niche interests could have different avenues that could connect you to more people, and maybe even you can apply different aesthetics, different themes of that of things you're interested into like a one big art piece or a big community event.
Man. Come on, Miss Diva. Come on. Y'all better use them dance terms. I better see y'all bitches moving. There's no reason not to be on the floor dancing now.
And when you know, what did you say? You got to pivot.
You gotta pivot.
Pivot. Mm-hmm.
Pivot.
Pivot.
Give us a turn, girl.
Yeah, let's see the turn. Let me see the turn. Let me see the walk. Let me see you hold that pose for me, please.
That.
Exactly. Exactly. What is something that you're working on right now that you would like to say? I know you were talking about music and your, as well for your like final project. Like, what are you allowed to say? What would you like to say? I don't know. Personal project as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go first, Diva?
I think we have one word to say together. I think let just read my mind, okay?
Girl, this is crazy.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Infinity.
Infinity. Okay. I knew I want you to say it. I was like, if I say the wrong thing, hold on.
Okay.
I'm like,
Honestly, you ate that like waiting for me because yeah, I'm glad. Thank you
bitch,
so
I'm
much.
dead.
Yes. Yes, Infinity, our iconic as duo name. So happy to be in this collaboration, lifelong collaboration, hopefully with Sabri. We've been collaborating as partners. We've been collaborating as dancers, choreographers, and now we're collaborating as full like pop star artists. And I feel like pop stars is like even like a limiting term in that sense. Like we really are just trying to make music, really trying to settle on what our sound is, and just like our names, maybe it's multiple sounds, multiple genres. So we've been having a lot of fun writing our own lyrics, performing. We even performed at UCR. We performed at True Evolution. We performed in like our different kinds of spaces.
Clubs and
Does
bars
yeah,
and
it
all
doesn't
that
even have
fun
to necessarily be like a venue. We're just like out here trying to put our art out there, and it's been really exciting. Collaborating with free beats that we found on YouTube as well. So shout out to those artists. And I just like haven't been having such a great time making music with you, and I feel like that's one of the most exciting projects that we've been working on. And I'm also finalizing my master's degree at UCR. And Icon is gonna duet with me this
Period,
final
period,
piece.
period.
So we're excited to revisit some previous themes in my journey here at UCR, now through a duo lens. And I'm super excited because Icon's so brilliant, brings so many juicy ideas to the collaboration, and just their essence really just leaves a statement every time they perform. So really looking forward
Girl, don't make
to
me cry.
these two. I honestly, we have like so many sub projects, but I would say like these are like the two main like projects in the back of my head all the time. We're always working on it, choreographing, dreaming up a visual, writing the next song,
For real.
rehearsing in our apartment like before dinner. Like it's so
Right.
funny like what we choose to prioritize, and it's almost always art.
No, let me just second that. It's literally always art. I mean, like, no matter what activity we are doing, I feel that we find a way to make it artsy. Like, we can easily be washing dishes, and I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna make a beat with the pots and pans. Please start rapping. Or like, we're just in the living room watching TV, and we hear like a sound in here, and we're like, oh, that sound could be like perfect for like an ad lib or something. Like, we're constantly experimenting, and I feel like that's what makes our collaboration so beautiful. Is that I feel like us and ourselves as like queer people and being in a relationship and learning what that looks like, especially in this day and age, because like queerness is so still newly um I don't want to say accepted because bitches are still very much resistant, but I will say like being in queer relationships is a more known thing now, and I feel like even in that, I don't want to call it an experiment. Let me not like create like a connotation between those words, but more that like we're still learning this
Practice, how
practice.
to practice of like how to
Hmm.
be together, because all we've seen growing up is like very heteronormative constructs of relationships. And so
No
us
role models.
right, trying to break
Exactly.
down all the binaries in existence, right, trying to live in that space in between, that
Exactly.
warm fuzzy place in the in between.
And let me just say that place in the in between is so much fucking fun. We, obviously, like they named, being infinity has been such a hot way of like also expressing our experiences and, like I named earlier, conceptualizing what it means to be this queer trans person in this day and age. And really like trying to make like an album. Like, I feel like, yeah, like even pop stars is like you said, is too limiting. Like, I would really call us like the revolution. We really are those revolutionary artists. And I really feel that our queerness, especially breaking into markets like pop and hip hop, are really going to shake some things for people. And I'm really excited for the earthquake.
Yeah, we're gonna disrupt the space.
That I'm like, we're always changing dimension, changing the space. I'm like, we keep it cunty. And like, I really think, like, if I had to describe it with one word, it's revolutionary. And I hope that people really stay tuned and really get that feel. But regardless if you're listening or not, you're gonna feel it.
Ooh.
And I'm ready for them to feel it. And then working with Sam on their final piece for UCR, I think like I'm just really excited to be in this like mindset of just full dancer, full artist all the time. And it's just something that I've been asking the universe for. I like literally wish on it like every day. I'm like, please let me just like do art every day. Let me do this because for me, like as a Pisces, for me, being able to be artistic, getting to just like, even if it just like pulling out a notebook and just doodling is so like such a good release for me because I'm like, oh, like I get so many thoughts and so many ideas and I need to put these into something. And I'm like, if the universe didn't want me to be an artist, she would not have me thinking like this. I was like, girl, why are you giving me all these ideas and then I can't make art? That is such like a torturous feeling. Um, and yeah, that's like what we've been working on. I'm also, fun fact, I'm like a comic book writer as well. So I've been writing a comic book. Y'all need to stay tuned for that. I'm working on creating like a queer black and brown comic book.
It's so
Um
hot.
it's already so hot. But yeah, I got to put some more time into that. But that's something I've been working on like on the personal side and just honestly just working on like dance pieces and things like that, trying to choreograph to get videos in. So if anybody famous needs a choreographer, please hit up Diva and Icon. Bitch, we'll give you hot ass choreo. We really will.
We'll
And
bring the vision, the
we're gonna
direction,
the
the
vision, the
Someone called
aesthetic.
Beyonce.
Someone called Beyonce, and you know what? Let me say that too. When I went to see Cowboy Carter with Diva here, when I went and saw Renaissance, I was like, "There's no reason that I should not be on stage with you, girl," because I would have ate that shit up. We would have served so hard, like Diva and Icon dancing next to Beyonce, bitch. Come on, like there's just no way. But
don't
it's
worry,
okay.
we'll be there.
We will be there. Don't worry, we will be there. She just needs us, and I'm like, girl, Act Three's coming up. Please. And you know what? While we're speaking of Act 3, Beyonce hit up Perry because they're going to give you a bomb ass red outfit, bitch. You need a red. We
Oh,
need.
it's all red. That's
The red
right.
horse.
Come
The
on.
red
The red
horse.
horse, a red
Look at that
motherfucking
horse. Look
bob.
at that
Come
horse.
on.
Oh, red bob.
A red bob. Come on. Beyonce, put the red bob on. I'm ready to see it. I need another Dream Girls moment. Like, I need her in front of the mirror, be like, bitch, turn the wigs around, and it's a
Turn the
red
bob
bob.
It's a
around.
Turn
red
the bob
bob.
around. I need it. Please. I'm
Oh,
so ready. And
I see the visuals
you
now.
see the visual,
I
right?
see the vision.
Come on, her with a red bob would be so sickening. But anyways,
Like a red horse on fire.
Red Horse on Fire, Red Bob. That's like Act 3 album cover. Her with a bob, girl. Come on. Anyways, that's what we've been working on. Me dreaming up things for Beyonce, but yeah, that's where we're at in our art right now.
So fun. I'm so excited to see. Like, do you have anything out or no that I can like?
So we're actually working on. Um, we're hoping nobody gets to our leaks. No. We're in the process of looking for producers. So if any of you are producer of music, know how to mix music, really trying to work with hopefully someone queer, trans to really help us lock in that sound that we're really looking for and like speak to the community that we're really trying to speak to. Because maybe our commercial, our music won't be like commercial like for all audiences, but we want to speak to the audiences that we really want to speak to. So that's like a big thing on our mind. We really want to be conscious of the work and the art we're making, but also I know that we're sitting on something hot, and so I'm ready to stand up and move. You know.
Right. Quite literally that. I'm just ready for it to be out. And truthfully, like, I think like when it comes to art, and I feel like both of you as artists can relate to that. That sometimes like you want to have a timeline, you want to have like a specific date for something to be released, and all that's hot. It's also like sometimes art just comes out when it comes out. Like it will be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, "Bitch, I got the lyric. I got the melody," or fuck, I know what color to use on this fucking piece right now, and like I made it perfectly.
red.
No, literally, it's red. You're fucking crazy. No, literally that. But like, you really get those sparks at like the most random time, and I think that's like the beautiful thing too of like. One of the things that we've written in music, I can't spoil the lyrics for it, but I will
Just share a little taste.
just a little taste. What should I say? Okay. One of our lyrics goes like tea time, that's just that me time, that tea time, infinity time, feeling free and fine, reclaiming what's mine. Don't rush cuz I know I'm going to make it.
Always
Always
me,
me cuz
yeah,
I'm
never
never going to
gotta
fake
fake it.
it.
It's that tea time.
Period. Come on, come on. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and that's like from one of our upcoming songs. It's called Tea Time.
You just felt that essence.
That-
Like you're gonna feel that when you hear that.
and y'all haven't even heard the beat yet. Y'all pussy's gonna jump. I'm telling you.
Mine did.
But yeah, like, even in that of like us exploring like what it means not to be on such a linear path and even putting a binary on our time, but more rather like realizing that sometimes like the sparks and your own transformation, your own transcendence, your own creative like sparks and juices, they're gonna come at their own time. And you kind of just have to go along with that path. And that's just like even relating back to just being invested in the community. Take some time, get outside, go talk to some people. Like, we're already so divided in the world, and they're already pushing y'all to be inside all the time. Y'all gotta resist against that and really realize like your life is only gonna have meaning if you go out and make it have meaning, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, go out and visit your local park. You never know what artists you'll meet.
That part with the red tent.
Period. I thought you were about to say go to your local library.
Go to the library. Come on now.
No notes.
No, no. I can't believe I got an exclusive to hear y'all's like snippet. Oh my god, people are gonna clip this now.
Yes.
This is gonna be like a demo tape one.
I'm ready.
Perry.
Featuring Perry, come on.
The Red Dot
Red
exclusive.
Dot exclusive.
Red
come
dot
on.
exclusive is hot.
So that leads me into like next segment, just like a very brief. Just what is your sort of your red thoughts that you've been having? And with that, I usually tell people it's like whatever thought you've been like obsessing over lately, or that just like been on your mind that you kind of just want to let out. It can be something very sweet and funny, like ranking different hairstyles, or it could be something like d- I don't know. It could be literally something that you're pissed off at. Mine is gonna be pissed off because last night when I was driving. There needs to be a legal limit on car headlights because they're so goddamn fucking bright.
They are. We were just talking about this. We went to a cabin with friends. We were just talking about this when
For
like
real.
they're blinding us as we're trying to go up and down the mountain. Like, bro, it's not that serious. Please, please,
Like,
a limit.
turn them down. Turn them down.
It's never that fucking serious, and it's like you're literally driving down Magnolia.
Like, bitch,
You're
for real.
being so fucking for. You're acting like we're in the middle of the woods. You're acting like you're at the densest fog you've ever seen, and it's like you're going to Ralph's.
Bitch.
I'm gonna get blinded to go get fucking cheese at 1 in the morning. Like it's ridiculous. And like driving back from like LA, like I will literally have to like put the thing on and then the mirrors to the side have them away so I can't see. Or literally like I would just put my hand to cover it and then just like flip it off. So as the people go by, I'm like, I hope
Yeah,
you
see it.
suffer.
For real.
Anyway, so that's my breath, and I really wanted to get that off my chest because I'm like somebody, and I need to. It's pissing me off. Okay. Who's next?
I would say my red thought, and when I thought of red thought, I thought of this word already, so I have to speak on it. But the word would be tension. I feel like red thought for me would be how tension has really surfaced for me recently. And the tension has felt uncomfortable. It's made me feel anxious. It's been also really transformative. So I would say lean into the tension in your life. It's not always a bad thing. Maybe it's revealing that you have to speak up, you have to stand up for yourself. It might feel awkward, it might feel uncomfortable, but the moment that you do and really stand in your name, in your power, you realize like, oh, I chose me this time. I didn't let this thing keep happening to me. And so I would leave that with that.
Period. That's so real. Tension has been so real, especially this week. Um, I guess like I would say my red thought. I'm like, it's a little bit hard because, bitch, I have so many thoughts and I'm constantly like, and I feel like I constantly voice them too. Like, I be just be saying that shit sometimes and I'm just like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But truthfully, I feel like my red thought is it would be how much I hate working. And like, and let me not, let me not say this out of a way of being like, I should just get paid to live. Well, I will say that because, bitch, give me my reparations. I should be getting paid to just live. Let's be real. Everybody in this room should be getting paid to live. But yeah, I've been realizing like how much I really hate like the system of how jobs work. Like one, how we get paid, how the hierarchies are at jobs, the politics of working a job. Like I really think like y'all bitches do too much for a job. Why are we doing this much for $16 an hour? That doesn't it doesn't make sense to me, you know? And yeah, to be like completely honest, I have just been kind of over like working even though I know I have to do it, a bitch is in college and I'm not trying to be in debt, but I'm at the same time just been like every time I clock into a job, I'm like, damn, like, girl, all this and for what? Like, y'all are walking in with bad attitudes and I don't get benefits and no health insurance. Y'all are crazy. Yeah, I just don't get it. And like, it's again that same thing, like, bitch, driving down Magnolia, bright ass lights, tension for no reason.
It's giving read the room.
It's literally giving
It's
read the
giving
room.
read the room and really assess how you're showing up in the space and are you adding or taking away from someone's experience. Think about that.
Quite literally that.
Period. Period.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think with that, I think that's a slay way to end. I'm like,
Period.
would y'all like to tell them where they can find you? Anything that's upcoming? Any just last thoughts for folks?
Period. So you can follow Miss Diva and Icon at Infinity. That is INFINNTEA. Yes, girl, someone already had Infinity as their username, so bitch, don't try me. And you can follow me at Icon Sabri.
And me at Sam Analysis. And you could probably see us at the next IE community event. We'll probably be out there.
Period. And look forward to our free release coming out early next year. I hope. Don't quote me on that, but we're just gonna let y'all know right now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And you can look forward for our album for next year. And we
Yeah. Be loose with that timeline, but just know what we're cooking is hot. It's going to be so delicious.
period.
Period. I'm so excited. I'm like, when y'all have it, I need to be there. Um, and yeah, y'all know where to find me everywhere. Art Perry, the podcast Red Thoughts Perry, my website
Right.
Picasso.com, or my portfolio Picasso.com, and shop perrypicasso.com. Yeah, and I think with that,
Period.
we shall
Awesome.
see y'all later.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. This
Thank
is
you,
so much
Perry.
fun, and
Yes.
it's so much fun to like kiki with the girls. I love
It really is. I just love a good little kiki sesh.
I
And
know.
I'm just enjoying this red room as well. We look so cunt.
We do. And the lighting died midway through, but it came back.
Right.
She came back for the grand finale.
She said pens.
So, yeah, love y'all. Thank you so much for coming here. And we'll see y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Ciao. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.